Well, that handles this anime review. Cry for help. I must don my suit. Oh shit, I left it in my other suit. Oh, okay. That's much better. Hey guys, it's the Bla-El Critic Guy, and I just got back from seeing the midnight showing of Man of Steel. So Man of Steel is basically the origin story of Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, who came from the planet Krypton and crash landed on Earth, and he kind of feels alienated. He doesn't know where he really belongs until he decides, maybe I should try to make the world a better place, dons on a suit and becomes Superman. And he also has to save the world from a little guy named Zod. Now, when going into Man of Steel, I went in with a bit of hesitation for 3 reasons. First off, Zack Snyder. He hasn't really been doing well in the box office, and I didn't want him to turn Superman into this really over-the-top action movie as he did with the previous film of his. Yeah, let's try to forget that. Second was Henry Cavill. He hasn't really impressed me as an actor, and he hasn't been doing so well in the movies either. Yeah, let's try not to remember that one. And lastly, Christopher Nolan, who was the producer of the film and shares in the story credit for the film. The reason I'm hesitant about that last one was because I wasn't a big fan of The Dark Knight Rises, and I didn't want him to turn Superman into this really realistic character. I wanted them to portray Superman in the right way. So what did I think of the movie? Actually, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. But I did think it suffered a bit from the character side of the story, and we're gonna get into that. First, let's talk about the acting. I liked most of the performances. I thought they all did a really good job. The one person that I really wanted to see really shine in this movie was Henry Cavill as Superman. How did he do? I actually really liked him. I thought he was a perfect Superman. He really had the physique of him, and he embodied the character very well. The 2 best performances, in my opinion, were Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner as Clark Kent and Kal-El's fathers. Every scene that they were in, I felt like they did an excellent job. They really felt like father figures to Superman and guiding him into the path that will later lead him to be Superman. And I also like Michael Shannon as General Zod. He was tough, he was menacing, and I kind of understood where his character was coming from. Yes, his methods are a bit extreme, but everything that he did was for love of country, or in his case, love of his own race. Amy Adams did good as Lois Lane, although I really didn't care much for her character. I really felt like her character was really shoehorned in every scene that she was in. And Diane Lane as Ma Kent, I liked her, although I wish they gave her more to do. I mean, she had 2 really emotional scenes where she was bonding with Clark, but nothing, she didn't really have much depth to her, and she wasn't really in the movie that much. I really would have loved to see a stronger bond built between Clark and his mother. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get to the good aspects of the film. I thought the visuals were awesome and the action scenes were intense and thrilling. But that's to be expected in any Zack Snyder film. It's gonna have some awesome action scenes and some awesome visuals. I did like the direction that Zack Snyder did for the film for the most part, although I felt like he could have done a little better in some scenes. But I did like some of the things that he did, like putting the camera behind Superman as he's flying through the air, or when he's in the battle. I thought he did really well in the direction of those scenes. And there are also some touching moments in the film, although I really felt like most of them were very short-lived. And my last and probably the greatest aspect of this film is the score. It was enthralling. It really set the tone for the entire film. Yes, we're not gonna forget John Williams' score. It's so memorable, it's so catchy. We're not gonna forget that. But for what he brought to the table, I thought he did an excellent job. But as much as I really enjoyed this movie, there are aspects that I really didn't like and felt like they could have done better. I mentioned a bunch of them earlier in the video, like the fact that Lois Lane really felt like a weak character, and they just shoehorned her in many scenes. She really didn't serve a huge purpose in this movie. She just felt like she was cannon fodder for Superman to save now and again. The side characters are very weak. You really don't care much about them, and they don't progress the story in any way, shape, or form. They could have been cardboard cutouts of some actors and I wouldn't have known the difference. Hell, they might have more depth than the actors that were actually in the movie. I guess one of the biggest problems that I had with this film is that I wanted this film to be a very emotional character story following Clark Kent, who's trying to find his place in the world, and they gave little glimmers of it here and there, but it was very minuscule, like very, very minuscule. Most of it just felt like a big action movie, and that's not a problem. It's just I wanted the film to really focus on Clark Kent, the character, have it be an emotional story about him dealing with having these powers and taking up the responsibility. Like I said, they throw it here and there, but it's not enough to really cement this feeling of it's an emotional story. I really wanted them to build and strengthen Clark Kent's relationship with other people, especially the Kents, which I felt was really lacking. I mean, they had a couple of scenes here and there, but I felt like they were kind of forced. Their bond wasn't as strong as it could have been. It could have been stronger. And I really felt like Jonathan Kent wasn't really a father to Superman. He was just basically the moral guide for Superman. Like, you need to control your powers, son, and you're gonna do it for the greater good. I wanted to really feel like this guy was a father to him, and I really didn't get that emotional core that I wanted. And lastly, I did enjoy the action scenes. It's just I felt like it was a bit too much and they went on for a bit too long. And there was this one scene that I really, really hated, but it's not a con, it's nothing against the movie, it's just a personal gripe that I have about the movie that I felt like they could have handled it in a better way. But overall, I really enjoyed Man of Steel. It wasn't the emotional movie that I really wanted, but it still was a very good movie with some intense action scenes, good acting, and Henry Cavill did an awesome job as Superman. And that's why I'm going to give this film a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's definitely worth watching. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you like it a lot? Did you find it boring and you really didn't care about it? And let me know, who is your favorite DC character? Besides Batman, don't put Batman, put somebody else. You're probably typing Batman right now, aren't you? Damn you. But anyway, comment below, let me know. Also, stay tuned tomorrow for the second episode of You Beck, the underground entertainment bunker chat hosted by me and Hodo Sengoku. It's basically a live chat that we do every 2 weeks where we talk about all the things that happened in media dealing with manga, gaming, anime, and movies. So check us out tomorrow at 10 p.m. We'll be talking for 2 hours long. Like I said, come check us out. And I'll also be having a collaborative video up within the coming week with me and another YouTuber. You'll see it soon, so stay tuned for that. But until then, guys, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the Black Critic Guy. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Watley II from the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.